Good morning, Tamra. It's Friday.
No, it's not. It's Sunday.
Good morning, Tamra. It's Sunday. Unfortunately, I've been having some software issues, hence me filming on the laptop today, so I apologize for my video coming 2 days late. I have bad news. Brooks got adopted last week. Okay, alright, so in the grand scheme of things, you might say this is good news. He now has 2 loving parents and a 2-year-old he can terrorize. But I have to admit, when the time came to give him up, my reaction was something like this.
I'll be the one to keep you. I'll keep you at your best.
So when good things come to an end, as they always do, I try to subscribe to the Dr. Seuss philosophy, don't cry because it's over, but rather smile because it happened. So I'm here today to remember fondly all the happy times. He was so rambunctious and mischievous as hell, but he was so smart. I only had him for a week, but he learned so much. I potty trained him, crate trained him, taught him how to sit, lay down, and even fetch. Okay, I guess we never quite mastered fetch. Anyway, like I said, even though I cried openly and awkwardly in the middle of PetSmart when I left him at the adoption center, it's good he found a home. He's a great dog, and he deserves better than my tiny, perpetually messy apartment. Since there was no longer a dog around to get in my way, I did a pointless art project that involved a large sum of crayons. Instead of opting for the brand name Crayola, I went for the much cheaper Crazy Art pack. And let me tell you, the folks at Crazy Art take their crazy very seriously. These are the best names for colors I've ever seen. I don't know whose job it is to come up with the names, but I want to meet that person. Here are some of my favorites. This one's called Really Raspberry, as opposed to just a little bit raspberry. This one's called Pickle. That's us. Blueberry Jammin'. Get it? Like jam, but they made it funky. Also, whenever they pluralize something, they replace the S with a Z. For instance, blue jeans. And this one is my absolute favorite. Silly celery. It's silly. It's genius. I wish I could come up with something like that. Also, this is a good one. Orange. Just orange. Also, there are like 50 shades of brown. But of course, staying true to Crazy Art form, they've all got great names. This one you'd like, Chocolate Milk. Nutty Brown. It's nutty. Mud. Pepperoni. Is that even brown? Graham Crackers. Hot Fudge. And Brown. Creative. But how different can they be, really? This different! So speaking of 50 Shades, I was reading my Kindle on the bus the other day, and someone asked me which book I was reading, and then made a really lame joke about how I was reading 50 Shades of Grey in public and using my Kindle to hide it. How very wrong he was. I couldn't think of a witty enough response, so I just read my book aloud really sensually. There is a point to Lincoln's inviting Grant to this meeting, as evidenced by this new line of inquiry. Lincoln hopes for a certain pragmatic lenience toward the southern states, rather than a draconian punishment, as his Vice President Andrew Johnson favors. Lincoln has not seen Johnson since his second inauguration, but Lincoln's lenient plan for the South is not born solely out of kindness, nor with just the simple goal of healing the nation. The South's bustling warm water ports and agricultural strength will be a powerful supplement to the nation's economy. With the nation mired in more than $2 billion of wartime debt, and with Union soldiers still owed back pay, extra sources of income are vitally needed. So no, I'm not reading 50 Shades of Grey. I'm only kidding, I'm not nearly brave enough to pull something like that off, but that's how it went down in my head. In reality, I just laughed timidly and said, no, I'm reading a book about Lincoln's assassination, so you're way off. Oh, I forgot to mention that Brooks learned that by army crawling, he could minimize effort exerted by making me do all the work and simultaneously play and do nothing. Work smarter, not harder.